Welcome to the ultimate guide to positioning. In this video, I will walk you through a step-by-step process that helps you position your products or services to stand out in your marketplace, cut through the noise, and make sure that you speak to the right people, attract the right people with your marketing, so people that also have money to pay you and are really interested in your products or services, and so that you can charge much higher prices. And this video is not just about theory. If you follow me till the end of this video, you will actually get your positioning done. Really, it will be done. If you just follow the steps I walk you through, you will have a crystal clear market positioning ready to launch your lead generation campaign to get high quality leads. And I will also show you how this works. So this is the only video you need if you are struggling with positioning, with low quality leads, if you don't know how to get leads at all, if you don't know how to sell your services, or if you want to increase your prices and currently you are working too many hours for too little money. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can solve it. With a wrong positioning, or if you have no positioning at all, you can do whatever you want in marketing. You won't get any traction. And the reason why this happens, and it happens actually very often, is because your message is simply not relevant. People don't understand why they should listen to you, why they should pay attention. People don't see a value in what you communicate and what you ultimately want to sell. And the most important thing is that people don't trust you because everyone promises them the world and doesn't provide enough proof so that people can develop trust. With the right positioning, and if you have all the other assets I'm going to show you in this video, you will be able to catch the attention of the right people, develop their trust, and make them excited about your offer so that it will be much more easily for you to attract the right leads, to attract the right clients, to convert leads into paying clients, and ultimately grow your business a lot easier. So having that said, let's dive into it and I will walk you through the process. It would be best, or if you want to get results, it would be best if you take paper and pen and you just do what I do based on your specific products or services that you want to position and get leads for. All right, so let's jump into the process. For proper positioning, there are three main components you need to get right, and that's what we are going to do in this video. So component number one is you need to know for whom it is. And with it, I mean your products or services and your message and your entire marketing, right? So think of it like this. Just imagine you are a rock star. You are standing at a stage, 10,000 people in front of you, and you want the right people to raise their hand. I guess you already had this experience when the rock star on the stage is saying, hey, everybody hands up. Like, not everybody raises their hand. Just a few people. This person, the rock star, needs to say this 3 to 5 times because people feel like this is not for me, right? If you just say everyone, everybody, hands up, it's like, okay, is that me? Why should I do this? I don't want to do this, right? Only the hyper-motivated ones raise their hands. But when you do this with your marketing, chances are very high that the wrong people raise their hand and they don't have the money and they don't have the desire for your solution. So you want to make sure that you target one specific group of people. Let me give you an example. A specific group of people is, for example, dentists. It can be doctors, which is also the category where dentist falls into. It's a bit more general, but it's still specific enough. If you say all doctors, hands up, all medical workers, hands up, some people might think, okay, I'm a medical worker or not. So it's not a clear identity that you're asking for, right? If you're saying business owners who own a med spa, that's very specific again, right? Or carpenters, landscapers, roofers, etc. So all these types of people, these groups are very specific, and they are specific enough so that if you would stand on stage and shout out roofers, hands up, everyone who is a roofer would potentially raise their hand because they feel spoken to. However, there is no motivation yet. So even if you tell them raise their hands, they might raise their hand because they like you and appreciate you as a rock star on stage, but there is no real motivation. So the next thing we need to make clear is that they understand which value you have for them, why they should raise their hand. They should understand the value for them. So that's typically called value proposition. Now let me give you an example about the value proposition. Let's say we go with roofers, or let's say dentists. So if you know your audience well, you know what they want to achieve and you know their personal desire. Let's look at a dentist. A dentist, for example, wants to grow his revenues. He wants to be more successful as a dentist. He wants to have more successful and happy patients, right? Eventually, he wants to grow his practice. So these are all personal desires that motivate a dentist to consume your content, listen to you, raise their hand eventually, if you communicate the value they can expect. So for example, if you know dentists well, or if you know your target audience well, you know that dentists are typically struggling with services, with dental services that are just very low paid. And they appreciate, for example, implant patients because they make a lot more money with this service without working more hours. So that's what they want. That's what they really want, okay? So now you could offer or create a shout out to these people saying, dentists who are looking for more implant patients, hands up. Now it's a lot more clear why these people should be motivated to raise their hand, okay? So now it's clear whom you want to address and whom you want to speak to, and the value, so what they can get when they raise their hand, what they should show their interest for, or which problems you can solve for them. Struggling with low revenue services or struggling with providing low revenue services in your dental practice. Okay, so these are the two main and most important components. We will go through that and you will be able to do this for yourself. And I will also show you how to find this so-called niche. And by the way, it doesn't mean that you have to limit your business to only one group of people. I'm just saying you need to be specific in your marketing for one group of people and one value proposition. You can create a lot of funnels and attract a lot of people, right? If you have services that work for all of these people, then well, you can do this. You just need to be very specific in your marketing. Otherwise, nobody will listen to you if your message is too general and you didn't do a good job on defining this and defining that. Now, to filter people already in your message, there is another component, which is talking about what you sell. Okay, and that should give people an idea of how they can achieve what you promise them in your value proposition message. And you want to make clear what it is, because when people pass a message that talked about these three components, you didn't just attract the right people, you also filtered the wrong people. So if you start, for example, with a message saying, hey dentists, if you are struggling to get implant patients, that's exactly what we do, right? Value proposition, and then what you sell. We build you Google ad campaign or social media ad campaign or whatever you do. That gets you more implant patients, or you can be more specific, that gets you 3 to 5 implant patients in the next 30 days. Okay, so that's more clear. You can also do it with, hey roofers, if you are struggling to attract more clients from search engines or your website, right? Then we fix this problem for you. Value proposition, okay? And then the next one is what you do. We build your website in 30 days and ensure that you rank on the first page of Google. Now it's very clear what you do for them. And when people watch the whole message and they paid attention to all these three components, which should be articulated in not more than like 30 seconds maximum, better 15 seconds, then they already raised their hand that they are the right people, that they want this thing and they are interested in like what you create for them or do with them so that they get this. Okay, and then you already have a qualified person. Now you just need to convert the person as a next step. Okay, that's another thing. In this video, we won't talk about conversions and conversion mechanisms. We will just talk about how you position your services properly and attract the right people. If you are interested in how you can build a sales funnel that doesn't even need a website so that you can get qualified leads fast, then there is also a video. We show it somewhere here or link it in the show note. It's about the MVP funnel. That is actually the fastest way I found to get 2 to 5 sales calls per week. Okay, but first you need to get your positioning right. If you didn't do this preparation well, even the MVP funnel won't work for you because, well, the foundation is missing. Okay, so this is the messaging framework that is the result of a proper positioning. And these are the three components to position your services properly. Okay, now let's do it. I will walk you through the process to figure out how you should position your products or services to attract the right people. So first of all, I recommend you do what is called a client assessment. So in this client assessment, you look at your experience, you look at the clients you already worked with, who they are, right? Because remember, this is the first component of a proper positioning. What they asked you for, right? And what they achieved after you worked with them. So what they ask you for is typically the thing they are interested in, right? That's the component number 3. And the result they got after working with you is component number 2 of the positioning that I showed you previously in this video. You can also ask what was their main problem they were struggling with before they worked with you, okay? So just create a sheet, can be a Google Sheet or Excel sheet, it can just be a text document, and list this per client, right? Look at your 10 most successful clients and list them all. Now, as you completed the client assessment, you will have a list of all potential components you could use to position your products or services. You just need to be very specific about who they are, what they struggled with and what they achieved after working with you, right? The value proposition. And then the last part, what you actually did for them or what they ask for. That's now the services or products you sell that help them get the value you promised them in component 2. Okay, so just really list it down. Be very specific about your clients. If you don't have 10 clients, no problem. Just list how many clients you have then. And then the next thing is you need to make sure that there is enough demand. Okay, so that's demand validation. If you already have a client, demand validation. So if you already have a client, that's a good sign because obviously there was at least one person who had a demand for these products or services, but that's not enough, especially if you want to attract high quality leads with paid ads. So what you're going to do next is you go to the Google Keyword Planner. Now the question is what you should search for in the Google Keyword Planner. Look at it like this. So this is the circle of all the services you provide, okay? For example, the entire umbrella for all your services is, let's say, marketing, okay, which is very broad. If you go on Google Keyword Planner and search for the search volume of marketing, then you will get so many searches, which is a good sign. However, this is so unspecific. It is just a topic. It isn't even something people can buy. What people can buy is, for example, the services of a marketing agency. So if you are looking for marketing agency, well, there is also a good amount of search volume and it shows a higher intent because that's what people can pay for. However, if you niche it down further, it is better if you, for example, create a broader segment, which is digital marketing. Okay, still broad. Now, if you look at your services and you are more specific, it can be web development, it can be sales funnel implementation, it can be lead generation, it can be social media marketing, it can be influencer marketing, it can be email marketing, it can be a lot of other things. That's proof why marketing is way too broad. You want to be more specific about the services, and then you pick one of these more specific services, and again, you just search on the Google Keyword Planner to figure out the search volume. It should be a minimum of 100. Why 100? Well, because people who are searching for a solution typically are only 5% of the total addressable market. Let me paint another circle. So that means people who have a demand and search for this solution are typically just 5%. That means 95% are people who still have a problem or want a solution that you offer related to, let's say, email marketing, but they are actively not yet searching on Google. So you can reach them on social media. That's why social media marketing with interruption-based marketing is a lot more effective. Simply because you show them their problem and you offer them the solution they are looking for, and now they have an awareness for your business, even if they didn't use Google or any other search engine to find a provider who can offer these services, okay? That's only a very small part, the 5% who are product aware. All right, so that's the next thing. You should have a minimum of 100 people searching for the topic that describes the service or product best that you want to sell to your target clients. Okay, and the last step is you look at the problem people typically have when they request your service, right? You can also ask ChatGPT if you are not sure. You can say, I want to target dentists, right? If this was the outcome that you have worked with dentists or roofers, plumbers, whatever, just a specific niche. Marketing managers is also a good niche, for example. Okay, let's say you feed ChatGPT with the information that you want to work with marketing managers. You want to sell email marketing to them. Please give me a list of all problems that email marketing can solve for marketing managers. Okay, that's how you get the problem. And then you also need to describe the solution. So you do the same. So which solutions are marketing managers looking for if they consider email marketing services? Because now you have defined this gap here. Okay, and the job of your marketing, your products and services is to bridge this gap. That's it, right? Your service needs to turn the problem into the solution. The faster you can do it, the more money you can make. If you still sell your services just based on a time for money business model, then it's a clear sign you didn't do the positioning well, you didn't package your services, and you will definitely benefit from going through this exercise here. All right, so now you have the value proposition, right? When you use ChatGPT, feed it with the prompt that I just gave you, you validated demand using the Google Keyword Planner, and you identified with which type of people you should work because you already have experience. If you just start and you have no client yet at all, I recommend you pick any niche, any specific audience you can imagine. Eventually, if these are people you really like to work with, or you have any other touch points or experiences in the past, that is definitely beneficial. Then I would recommend you start with this. You reduce the price for your service in exchange for a case study, because then you have a case study and you can create more trust by showing this case study. Right, as soon as you have one case study, you put it on the landing page. If it's specific for the target clients you are looking for, related to the services you provide, that proves and shows that you are able to turn the problem into the solution these people are looking for, then your marketing will deliver much better results. So it's absolutely worth it reducing your price in the beginning and getting a case study so that your marketing will be a lot more effective. Your cost per lead will go down significantly and the closing rate will also go up because people trust you more. All right, now you might be wondering, what is a good niche? And first of all, a good niche is when it's very specific. Really, this is the most important thing. Remember what I said in the beginning, you need to have a call out so that people raise their hands because they feel that you are speaking specifically to them. You are speaking specifically about their problem or the desire they are looking to solve or achieve. So a good niche is specific and a good niche is growing. So big enough and growing, right? That would be the second criteria. If you just have a very small niche where you potentially find only 100 potential clients, target clients, right? Then it's better to just call them. I mean, then your business cannot really scale because there are just 100 potential clients, right? If you make $1 million with a client, well, then it's still a good thing, but I guess the sales cycle will be very long. So you want to look at a niche that has, let's say, a minimum of 10,000 people and is growing, right? If you, for example, target publishers, right? People or businesses who publish print magazines, I'm not sure if this is a growing industry, so you can expect that the demand is declining. While if you target, for example, AI automation agencies, well, that's hot. A lot more service providers provide these AI automation services because the market is there. People are looking for these specific services. Okay, so it should be growing, it should be specific, and people need to have the money to pay you. Okay, so for example, if you target small business owners, that's not a good niche. It's not specific, right? Is it growing or not? Well, as it is so unspecific, you don't even know. Do they have the money? Well, reality shows that if this is the whole amount of all small business owners, and you sell a product or service for, let's say, 3,000 euros, dollars, or pounds, the majority of these people doesn't have the money, right? I would say only 10% have the money to pay you. That's just as it is. So you want to make sure that you talk to the specific people you know that they have the money. For example, dentists. Or if you talk to local businesses or other businesses who have a minimum of 10,000 euro revenue per month, or a minimum of, let's say, 3 employees, you know they have money, 3,000 euros, dollars, pounds, doesn't hurt them. They have the cash. If they want to spend it on your service, depends on if they understand your value proposition and if they want what you sell. Remember, this is component 2 and component 3 of your positioning. That's why it's so important. All right, so they need to have the money, and instead of hoping that people you attract with your message, if you are too broad and unspecific, that these people have the money, instead of hoping, you should actually specifically attract the right people where you know that they have the money. Okay, for example, a business with a minimum of 5 employees, a marketing agency with minimum 10K revenue per month, a dentist, they always have the money, right? Any medical professionals, they have the money, right? Managers, they have the money, right? Of course, the higher the investment required to work with you, the more specific you need to be, because then it matters that you find the right people. And by the way, this is a problem with Google Ads. You cannot filter properly by demographics, by the right people. You just go on a topic, you bid on a topic, you create ads for a specific topic that you found in the Google Keyword Planner. And then you have no control over who really clicks your ad and requests your service. You can still make this clear in your message and also on your landing page. And I think Google also becomes better, especially with Performance Max campaigns, to find the right people based on your message and based on past conversion history. However, Meta, Facebook and Instagram, works much better because on these platforms, the targeting is mainly driven by AI, based on who engages with your ad and who converts on your landing page. And this gives you much better leads because now you're optimizing for intent. And if you speak to the right people, like I showed you in the beginning, that you call out, hey, dentists who are looking for more implant patients, then you will get engagement only from these people who are the right persona, dentists, and looking for implant patients, value proposition. And that's why the algorithm will find you more of these people who already watched your video and eventually filled your form. Right? And this is intent-based marketing, which you won't have, for example, on LinkedIn. There you can only target dentists. But you have no idea, and the algorithm doesn't optimize for the fact that they want or don't want the value you provide and the services you provide. Okay, that's why the message framework I gave you in the beginning is so important, to leverage AI targeting on Meta, and that works much better than any other platform. At least I try it every year, and Meta outperforms all the other platforms year after year. So yeah, that's how you master positioning. And now, as you are at the end of the video, I hope you either already took paper and pen and you got it done and you made some notes, or you watch this video again, take paper and pen and just create your positioning, because then you are ready to launch your MVP funnel. And that's the next video I recommend you watch. So if you got value from the video, I would appreciate if you give me a like and subscribe. I'm going to release new videos like this, where I help you grow your business faster, more profitably, and with less work, thanks to sales funnels, automation, and AI. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Cheers and happy scaling.